Welcome to the leading podcast for long-term weight management. Subscribe to the podcast so that you don't miss an episode. You can connect with Jenny on all social media channels. You can also sign up to the newsletter to receive frequent content and tips for weight loss success.
Hey guys, welcome to episode 2 of the Power Over Food podcast. I hope you are well. So in this episode, I am going to talk about the challenges we face when we are trying to lose weight. So if you have been finding it hard to lose weight, and maybe you're getting a little bit frustrated with yourself because you are not sticking to plan, then maybe once you've listened to this, you will be able to look at things in a slightly different light, and maybe you'll be a little bit kinder to yourself when you're trying to lose weight. And I did want to call this episode Losing Weight is Hard, but I've changed it because I do believe when we tell ourselves weight loss is hard, it will be. And I see this all the time with my clients. I see new clients that come to me and they are excited about losing weight and they are ready and willing and prepared to make the change. And then I see other clients that are reluctantly losing weight and they fight it every step of the way. And they say in their first meeting with me, I know it's going to be hard. And I always challenge and say, it may not be hard. You know, you might actually find that this is quite easy once you get going. But when we've decided something is going to be difficult, it will be difficult. Here's my first tip. Tell yourself every day that losing weight is easy. Try it. Pause this podcast and say 20 times, losing weight is easy. Losing weight is easy. Losing weight is easy. Losing weight is easy. Did you do it? How did it feel? Because I promise you, if you did that 20 times a day, morning, noon and night, you would start to feel differently about your weight loss journey. But the problem with affirmations is quite often we'll do them for a couple of days and then we'll just forget about them. And it really is a case of doing it, saying things like that every single day, long term. Now, I know that everybody who is listening is at a different stage, and some of you may have struggled for years, and others may have only gained weight since pregnancy, or just as you've got older, or as you've changed jobs, and maybe you've become less active. So please take what you will from the things I'm going to share, and some things will be relevant to you, and others may not be so relevant. So let's start talking about why it's challenging to lose weight, because when you look at things, we have a lot against us when it comes to weight loss. First of all, we have to remember that eating is the most natural thing to do. It is essential for our survival. It's a basic human need and we all need to eat. Now, for me, and I think for many of the clients I've worked with over the past few years, being on a diet and restricting food or not being able to eat the high calorie food that you've been used to is a little bit like saying to an alcoholic, you can have 3 glasses of wine a day, but you can't have any more. I am addicted to food, and just restricting food is very difficult. So for me, it would almost be easier if you take it away completely. And if you think about an alcoholic, or if you think about somebody giving up smoking, they can actually give up that substance and never return to it. Now, I'm not saying that wouldn't be incredibly challenging for them, and they would have to really work at that. But once they've given it up, they don't actually have to put it back in their life. Yet we do. Even if you abstain from food on a very low calorie diet, you still have to put food back in your life and live within that world forever, managing that food that you may find that you're addicted to. So that's the first thing. Food is essential for our survival. We can't just give it up. We have to learn to manage it. Now, we also live, or most of us live, where food is everywhere. Food is of abundance and we literally can't get away from it. Whether this is at work or home or social occasions, there will always be a reason to eat and a reason to overeat. And we also use food to show our love or our thanks. So I am sure you have all bought chocolates for a friend to say thank you, or we've taken cake or biscuits to a family member because we love them, and just because we can share that with them, share that moment with them. And we also use food when we're poorly, when we're ill. So many of us will use food to make us feel better. And actually, have a think now, what food do you associate with being poorly? So if you or one of your family members were ill, what food would you want to give them or would you want to eat? Have a think. Because for me, it would be soup, toast, and Lucozade. And that is what my brain would tell me would make me or them feel better. So we have this belief that food makes us feel better, and I used to challenge my clients and say, would the doctor prescribe you some toast? Now, I know that's probably a little bit extreme, because sometimes if you've been very poorly, you might need, just dry toast, which I completely understand, but it's very true that we do think that food has the answer. And many of us use food to make us feel better, not just when we are unwell, but when we have had a bad day, when things get too much, when we are upset. You may think, stuff it, I'm having a Chinese tonight, as a way of consoling yourself because you've had an enough day at work. Or you buy chocolate in the garage on the way home because you've had bad news. And we also eat because it's the weekend. So many people will relax their diets because it's the weekend. And I don't know about you, but I associate Friday night with downing tools and having something of higher calories. And it's not even, for me, the end of my week as I work Saturdays, but I still have that association with Friday equals weekend equals overeating, having what I want. And I am 15 years into weight management, but I still feel like come Friday, I can have whatever I want. And in weight management, I can afford to do this, but I definitely can't go overboard Friday, Saturday and Sunday. Otherwise, the scales just start to creep back up. And if you are doing that in weight loss, so if you're in the weight loss phase, but every weekend you are rewarding yourself and having a couple of days off your healthy eating plan, then it's quite likely that you're not seeing the results you want on the scales, because what's happening is at the weekend, you're undoing all of your hard work in the week. Then there is the pressure we have from other people to eat. So people often encourage us to overeat because they are overeating and it makes them feel better. Or maybe they buy some food or they cook some food for you, even though they know that you are trying to lose weight. Yeah, we've all got those people in our lives. They tend to be the ones that are out to sabotage our weight loss. Or they might just really love us and think that food makes us feel happy. So therefore they want to make us feel happy by cooking our favourite meal or buying our favourite food. And it also drives me mad, because doesn't everyone have an opinion on how to lose weight? They have a friend who did that diet and they put the weight back on, or they know somebody that's said it's really unhealthy to do what you're doing. And this is why I'm forever saying to people, you need to work out what is going to work for you. There is no point following a diet because someone else has told you to. You need to do your research and you need to work on your relationship with food using a healthy eating plan or a diet plan that is going to work for you and long term. And sometimes this changes as well, because sometimes you might have lost weight on one diet years ago, but when you go back to it, the same momentum isn't there and you might need to try something new, and that's absolutely fine. Then we also have the pressure that we put on ourselves. We often set ourselves unrealistic targets and then we give up too quickly. I hear people say all of the time, if I don't lose weight or if I don't lose X amount of pounds this week, I'm giving up. And if you think about it, where does that get you? If you give up, you often end up back where you started. And if you'd just hung on another week and then seen that difference in the scales, you would have been flying. But quite often we put this pressure on ourselves and the scales never say what we want them to say, and we throw in the towel. The other reason it can be hard is because we often lose weight for an event. So whether this is a wedding, a holiday, for Christmas, and we really focus because we have that goal in mind. But once we achieve it, once the event has happened, we go back to eating how we were before, and the weight just goes back on again. It's almost like, oh yeah, we did that. I got slim for my wedding and now I can grow again. So be really conscious if you are setting yourself a goal for an event or a holiday, try and look further. Your goal really should be for life. If that means having small goals along the way, then that's absolutely fine. But the goal is long-term weight management. Then we obviously have the catalogue of excuses that our sloth brain tells us. And my sloth brain drives me crackers. So here's just a few. My metabolism is ruined. I can't lose weight with my social life. It's too hard to lose weight when you're older. Since I've had a baby, I can't lose weight. I can't lose weight when the kids are at home. It's holiday time. I'll wait until September. My job's so sedentary, I just don't burn off calories. I don't have time to cook. What else will I have in my life if I can't eat the food I want? I'm always going to be overweight. It's just how I'm built. Have you said any of those? And I could go on. The list is endless. And one of the activities I sometimes do with my client is I ask them to write down a list of all of the excuses they have made in the past to overeat. And I really recommend you try doing this, and you will easily fill a page, if not 2 pages, of excuses and reasons that you have used in the past to overeat. Now, all of these might give us permission to eat, but we have to remember, if eating too much is causing you to gain weight and being overweight is making you unhappy, then something needs to change. You need to change something. You need to stop listening to the unhelpful thoughts and work on creating new lifelong habits to support you living a healthy lifestyle. You also need to stop listening to unhelpful people. And if you have close family and friends, then talk to them. Ask them for their support. Quite often I'll say to my clients, have you spoken to your partner about him doing that? And they'll say, oh no. And they come back the next week and they've said, right, I've explained to my husband that when he tells me I shouldn't be eating something, that actually makes me just want to go and eat twice as much, and I need him to challenge me in a different way, or I just need him to keep telling me how well I'm doing. So if you ask for people's support and they really care, then they will support you. But sometimes we just have to have a really honest conversation with people about how we actually feel about our weight. And remember that a lot of the people close to us, they do think that food makes us happy. So they will always revert back to buying your favourite food and bringing it to you because they think that will put a smile on your face. But what will ultimately make you happy if you want to lose weight is not eating the food and seeing results on the scales. You also need to bear in mind that some people around you may not want to see you change, so they may not support you. And remember, that's not about you, that's about them. And I'll talk more about this and weight loss and how other people see that in another episode. But just try not to make their issues your issues and go with what you want to do. So if you can work on all of the above and you can start looking at your food and your eating from a logical place, from what we call an adult place, then you can try and detach your emotions. And I know this is easier said than done. And in the next podcasts, I'll be talking more about how we can do this. And I know how challenging it is. And some of you may be working on changing years and years of ingrained habits and years of unhelpful thoughts around food and unhelpful behaviour around food. But unless you make a start, another year will go by and you will reinforce more unhelpful thoughts, reinforce that belief that you will always be overweight. I just want you to imagine if your new thought that you told yourself every single day was, I can manage my weight. And again, try saying this 20 times, morning, noon and night. I can manage my weight. Losing weight is easy. I can manage my weight. Losing weight is easy. Please, guys, honestly, try it. It really, really works, but you have to stick with it and keep reinforcing that you can lose weight. I promise you it does work, but you have to do this daily. Set an alarm, make sure you keep saying it. Keep reinforcing that you can manage your weight. Well, I hope that's been helpful, guys, and I hope it's given you food for thought, pardon the pun. I'll be back very soon with another episode, and there's so much information I want to share with you. And don't forget, you can connect with me on social media. I always love hearing from you and how you're getting on with your weight loss journeys. I do also have a Power Over Food Mastermind group on Facebook, which you are welcome to join. And if you haven't listened to the previous episode, then please do go back and listen. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any episodes. And finally, if you can leave me a review and if you can share with somebody you know who is struggling with their relationship with food, then please do. Have a great day or have a great evening, whatever you're doing, and I'll see you in the next episode.